The WIC Vendor Program. California Department of Public Health, Women, Infants, and Children Division, or CDPH WIC, is a nutrition program for women, infants, and children. WIC serves pregnant women, women who have recently been pregnant, infants, and children up to their 5th birthday. Moms, dads, grandparents, foster parents, other caregivers, and guardians may apply for the children they are raising. WIC provides benefits for a variety of nutritious foods, nutrition education, support for breastfeeding, and referrals to other services in the community. The WIC program thanks you for your partnership. Please know, as a California WIC authorized vendor, your participation is highly valued. Without your partnership, the WIC program could not be successful in serving families. WIC Authorized Food List Shopping Guide. The WIC Authorized Food List Shopping Guide is divided into sections by food categories and will help you understand what brands, what sizes, and what types of foods the WIC shopper can and cannot buy. WIC authorized food items are specific to each individual food category and subcategory. A food category identifies a general food group, and a food subcategory identifies a particular type of food within the food category. Milk is a food category. Low-fat milk is a subcategory within the milk food category. There are different food categories listed in the shopping guide. These include milk, cheese, eggs, yogurt, whole grains, breakfast cereal, fruits and vegetables, and infant formula. Refer to the WIC Authorized Food List Shopping Guide for information on the food categories. Not all foods are authorized for all shoppers. Here's an example of how WIC shoppers use the paper shopping guide. Let's go through the breakfast cereal food category. The shopping guide lists all the specific brands, flavors, and sizes of hot and cold cereal the WIC shopper can buy with their California WIC card. The WIC shopper can buy 12 ounces or larger sizes. How to conduct a California WIC card transaction. Stand-beside system. Stand-beside system equipment is used to ring up WIC food items separately from non-WIC items at the register. The stand-beside system consists of a point-of-sale device, a handheld scanner, and a pin pad. In a California WIC card transaction using a stand-beside system, the WIC shopper will place food items on the belt or counter for the cashier to scan. The WIC shopper will separate WIC items from non-WIC items and inform the cashier that they are using the California WIC card. Remember, non-WIC purchases are a separate transaction. Initiate the WIC purchase by selecting the function key for WIC purchase on the stand-beside device. Ask the WIC shopper to swipe their California WIC card through the card reader slot. The California WIC card must be physically present at the time of purchase for all WIC card transactions. Vendors must ensure the participant's WIC card is physically present, and the WIC card must be swiped during every WIC card transaction. The WIC card number may only be manually entered after the magnetic swipe read has failed. The California WIC card must be swiped before the cashier can scan any WIC food items. Next, ask the WIC shopper to enter their PIN into the handheld pin pad. The PIN is selected by the WIC participant at the WIC office. Do not ask for the WIC shopper's PIN or enter the PIN for the WIC shopper. Once the WIC shopper has entered their PIN, the cashier may begin scanning the WIC food items. If the WIC shopper is purchasing cash value benefit items, ring up those items after all other WIC items have been scanned. Cash value benefit items include any combination of fruits and vegetables in fresh, frozen, canned, or dried fruits. Use the handheld scanner to scan the barcode of the item or manually enter the UPC of the item using the stand-beside device keypad. To ensure program integrity, do not scan UPCs from a barcode list. If an item is not WIC authorized, or if the participant does not have the benefit in their food balance, an error message will display on the screen. A prompt will display on the stand-beside device screen for the cashier to enter the price of the item. Enter the price of the item using the stand-beside device keypad. After the items have been scanned, press the Total key to total the items. Next, a prompt will display on the Stand Beside device screen asking if the WIC shopper is purchasing any cash value benefit items. Remember, cash value benefit items include any combination of fruits and vegetables in fresh, frozen, canned, or dried fruits. If the WIC shopper is purchasing cash value benefit items, enter Yes on the prompt and manually enter the purchase price of each item, or enter the total purchase price of all cash value benefit items, even if the item has a UPC or PLU code. Cashiers should never scan a UPC or PLU for cash value benefit items. If a cashier does scan a cash value benefit item, the device will return an error code saying it is not authorized, even if the item is an authorized food. If the cash value benefit purchase exceeds the participant's benefit amount, the WIC shopper may use additional forms of payment, such as CalFresh, cash, checks, credit, or debit cards to pay for those items. If at any time during the transaction, the WIC shopper would like to review their purchase, the cashier can select the List function on the Stand Beside device to print out a receipt showing the scanned and cash value benefit items. At the WIC shopper's request, the cashier can remove items before the approval of the final transaction. If coupons are being used, enter the coupon amount and press Enter. The Enter key is pressed after each entered coupon amount. Press F1 to complete the sale and hand the receipt to the WIC shopper. It's very important that the WIC shopper review the final receipt before they leave the store. If there is an error on the receipt, the cashier may void the transaction only if it is performed immediately after the original transaction. If the WIC shopper has any non-WIC items, bring those items up as a separate transaction. Troubleshooting California WIC card transactions. The California WIC card improves the shopping experience for both vendors and WIC shoppers. However, as a cashier, you may occasionally come across challenges when processing a California WIC card transaction. Some reasons why a WIC shopper may have trouble purchasing a food item with their California WIC card are: 1. The food item is not on the authorized product list. If the system will not allow the WIC shopper to purchase a particular food item, the food item may not be on the Authorized Product List, or APL, because it is not a California WIC authorized food. The APL is an electronic file created and managed by CDPH WIC that includes all of the food items that have been authorized for purchase by California WIC participants. The food items are identified by a Universal Product Code, UPC, or a Price Lookup Code, PLU. Each food item has a unique UPC or PLU. The file is updated on a regular basis, and all California WIC vendors are required to maintain the most current version of the APL in their WIC EBT system. If a store is not using the most current version of the APL, an authorized food item may reject when the cashier attempts to scan it. Another possibility is that the food item may be a WIC-eligible food, however, the product is new to the marketplace and has not yet been authorized by California WIC and added to the APL. In that case, the system does not recognize the UPC as a WIC-authorized food and will reject it. If you believe an item is WIC-eligible but is not on the authorized product list, please submit new food products for consideration to be added to the APL to the Authorized Product List submission system. To submit new foods through the APLSS, you will be required to register and submit product images at aplss.wic.ca.gov. 2. The food item package size is not authorized. The WIC shopper may have selected a particular size of a food item that is not authorized for WIC purchases. WIC shoppers can reference the WIC Authorized Food List Shopping Guide to find other WIC authorized options. The WIC shopper may put back any foods not authorized by WIC or may purchase the item with another form of payment. 3. The benefit is not available to the WIC shopper. The WIC shopper may have already used their WIC benefits for that food category, or the food item selected is not part of the WIC shopper's available WIC food balance. A WIC shopper can ask the cashier or customer service desk at the grocery store to print a food balance inquiry receipt. The Food Balance Inquiry Receipt lists the foods and the amounts available to the WIC shopper, as well as the expiration date. 4. The California WIC card is not working at the store. The personal identification number, or PIN, may have been entered incorrectly. The WIC shopper may have made multiple PIN attempts at the register, which locked the card for security purposes. Refer the WIC shopper to the toll-free number listed on the back of their California WIC card, or refer them to their WIC office. 5. The point-of-sale system that processes WIC transactions is not working. If the point-of-sale system is unavailable for any reason, such as equipment malfunction, the store cannot process California WIC card transactions. Contact the equipment provider that processes WIC transactions for your store. If you are using a stand-beside system, contact Fidelity Information Services for assistance. Reading the receipt. A WIC shopper using WIC benefits to purchase food items must always receive a receipt after their transaction. The California WIC card receipt must include a list of the items purchased using WIC benefits, including the food item quantity, unit of measure, description, and item cost, the total purchase amount paid for the WIC foods, the benefit expiration date, and the benefit food balance, which shows the amount of the WIC foods remaining on the California WIC card. CDPH WIC supplies posters, shelf talkers, and decals to WIC authorized vendors, free of charge, to use throughout their store. These items are used to help WIC shoppers find authorized stores and WIC authorized foods. All reproduced materials with the California WIC logo or acronym must be approved by CDPH WIC before displaying them in your store. WIC shoppers may use coupons and buy one get one offers. Refer to the WIC Authorized Food List Shopping Guide if you are uncertain if an item is a WIC authorized food. Look out for vendor alerts from CDPH WIC for important updates and information.